Hey, thanks for coming on back. In part 1, we tackled some pretty pressing beauty issues. And in part 2, we get even juicier with black hair at work, insecurities, and more. Stay tuned.
I work in an office, and I like to change. I'm the weed whisperer, so I change my hair. Do I need to explain myself one Monday because I had box braids this day, and this day my hair is bald, and this day I had 33 inches of weaving? So when you have, and I know a lot of women who have regular jobs are very expressive, like myself, they feel stifled, like I don't want to change my hair because I don't want to hear anyone's mouth.
You shouldn't really care because I went through that. I used to work for Victoria's Secret, and my manager actually told me, "Oh, a black girl can have blonde hair." And I was like, "Oh, what?" Because I would change my color at least 2 or 3 times a week.
HR?
Yeah, right? Exactly. She was like, "Oh, a black girl can't do that. Didn't you just have weave in your hair? Why is your hair blonde?" And I'm like, what?
Sometimes you have to check people at work because they get a little too familiar at work and they think that, okay, let me see you somewhere else and this conversation be extremely different.
Yes.
But
well, my personal experience has been kind of like the opposite. I feel like they kind of look at me like I'm like a rare animal.
They're
fascinated by the fact that I can do different things with my hair. Like one day I came in with like a fro hawk. I did a big fro hawk, and like they thought it was like the most exotic thing they've ever seen. I'm like, it's just my hair pinned up in a different way. That's all.
Like let's be real. I'm not on a display at a zoo for you. I'm not there to be your exhibit to ask questions. If I want to come in, just wash and wear my hair, put a little product in it, and go. Don't just stand there and stare at me when I come into the office. Right. You know, you can ask questions, but ask appropriate questions.
Yeah. People with textured hair are targets.
Yeah.
Or either I get that question, "Oh, can I touch your hair?"
Oh my God, no, you cannot.
But at least they ask, because sometimes they don't even ask. People just come with the grab, and I'm like, listen.
First of all, this is a full head of weave. You better not be running your hair through my trash. That's ridiculous. Same thing goes with men. Men think that maybe this is my hair. Okay, great. You can think that, but as soon as they put that hair right there, and you gotta hit it with the swivel. So there's a thing that I heard Orlando Jones talking about. I think he's a comedian or just an actor. Orlando Jones, and he was talking about how some girls have pretty girl syndrome. And he explained pretty girl syndrome as, okay, you think you're so pretty, and when you go places, you have an expectation to get certain things. Oh, I'm going to get into the club and I'm not standing in line, or I'm going to get free drinks. I'm just going to get whatever I want because I'm so pretty. Like Carrie Hilson said, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I think I have pretty girl confidence. But I think I have other things that kind of supplement that. So does anyone else is going to confess and say they have pretty girl syndrome?
I have the syndrome. I wouldn't call it fully pretty girl syndrome. I would call it personality syndrome. Because I say I can make friends anywhere. Like, okay, who do I need to talk to to get what I need? To get what I need done.
You have to get to the gap.
I do, especially with my job, because I work in events for my job. I have to make friends everywhere because those are the people who are going to help you out. So I translate that at the mall. I do translate that at the club. I suck up to the bartender to get an extra drink. And when my tab comes back clear, that's not my problem. It's just the fact that I was nice to him, and you should work on your personality. That's all.
I've been told that I have pretty girl syndrome.
But no shade.
I don't mind the shade. You know, sometimes the sun is hot. But I just also feel like you have to understand. You have to understand that you are the energy that you put out. Well, the energy that you put out is what you will attract.
Exactly.
Whether people think you're beautiful or not, or as long as you think you're beautiful and you put that positive energy out there, you're going to get positivity in return. Because there have been a lot of women who have gotten a lot of stuff that I didn't particularly think was attractive, but they live very well.
So let's take it somewhere else. What was a time that you felt like insecure about your looks? Like, as a woman, it's very difficult. You know, growing up, I remember in high school, I wanted a nose job so bad because I just felt like it was just too big. And I think I grew into my looks, but I was so hyped. I was so serious about this nose job. For my senior project, I did it on rhinoplasties. When I realized what I needed to do to get a nose job, all of a sudden I just thought I was so beautiful. I was like, you know what? I don't think I really need all that. They take a a hammer and a little hard stick, and they break your nose, and you can't run, you can't swim, you can't do anything. And I just felt like, you know what, this is extreme, and I should learn to love myself. So that was my little story about, you know, really wanting something and then realizing what it meant to make that permanent change. And it just made me kind of love myself more. I would never get a rhinoplasty if I don't like my noses. That's what contour is for. But anyway,
I would say for me, when I was in college, my woman's body kicked in. Everybody knows when you're in high school, you go through puberty, but you really get your woman's body when you're about, 19, 20 years old?
I had mine since elementary.
when you're 20,
I don't know anything about that.
But I felt insecure because I went from being like, what were juniors, about like a 5'6", to woman size about like a 10 to about a 14. And when you go from that one extreme to the other, you have to learn how to accept this whole new form for you. Like, it was no longer 2-piece bikinis. I'll be in the fitting room going, oh my God, where did all this come from? But I would have to say, I fully accepted my body for what it is, honestly, this year at the age of 27. Wow. Because it was like, you know what? I could work out as much as I want. I could look at that darn Slim Quick commercial as many times as I want, and you know, Jennifer Hudson can be singing her free whatever song, all of this too. Great for Jenny, but it don't work for me. And I had to realize that this is my body and this is what it is, and I have to learn to love it for every inch of it and take care of myself. Because if you don't take care of you, and if you don't learn how to love who you are, you'll be broken for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter if you have enough Spanx to hold it in, if you're wearing a waist trainer, if you get the boobs up to here. If you don't love who it is on the inside, you will never accept the outside.
Yes, that is so true. And first of all, your nose is beautiful.
Yes,
thank you. I think so too.
And second of all, my women's body is still trying to come in. I'm wishing I had what y'all had going on here. I still got that childhood skin though. I feel like my skin has never left puberty. And I have tried everything. Dermatologist out the wazoo. I mean, I'm definitely an infomercial waiting to happen. But that is my insecurity that still, I guess it still kind of lives on, you know. It never fully goes away. What I have learned is how to deal with it, you know. I'm still beautiful regardless of whether I got a breakout or it's an easy go lucky day. I'm still fly. Like I said before, I haven't had an issue with getting a man, you know. But one day I'll get there. One day I will be an infomercial, you know.
Anybody else? Share the story.
Well, for me, I guess my beauty insecurity growing up was maybe having darker skin. And there is this issue of colorism in the Black community that we do not talk about a lot, but it's something I experienced a lot growing up. Having all kinds of inappropriate comments thrown at me about my complexion, about how I'm pretty for a dark-skinned girl, and all these things. So you kind of, you know, you can't avoid it. You grow up insecure. And then I look on the cover of fashion magazines, and you know, first of all, you hardly ever see Black women on there. Then when you do, they all look like Beyonce or Alicia Keys or somebody, and I'm like, well, I don't look like these people either, so I don't look like this kind of Black woman either. So for me, growing up, I had to really looked at the women in my family. Like, my mother is even like a shade or two darker than me, and she's extremely beautiful. And when I see like people who are like bleaching their skin and doing all these things, I'm like, well, you know what, at the end of the day, my dark skin looks so much better than that mess they got going on. I would never.
Ghostly look. They look like they're dead. When you bleach your skin, you look terrible.
I would never. And now I feel like, you know, my dark skin is beautiful. And it's even looked at, like, some people look at it like this, like, exotic thing. It's like, it's not exotic. It's just another shade of blackness.
Shades of blackness. So, this has been such an exciting conversation. So I just want to thank all of you ladies for taking your time. I want to thank Ivy Salon and Alicia for allowing us to do this today. This has been great. So thank you for watching the first episode of Beyond the Dryer. You can subscribe to me, The Weave Whisperer, on YouTube, and also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want to know anything about Ivy Salon or any of these people on the panel today, it'll be in the description box below. Thank you.